Welcome to Mobile Home Friend YouTube channel, your go-to resource for everything manufactured housing.
Welcome to another deep dive from Mobile Home Friend. Today we are looking at the critical topic of mobile home tax classification based on our latest research at mobilehomefriend.com. Have you ever wondered why two identical mobile homes can have drastically different financial outcomes? One builds wealth, while the other basically becomes a money pit? Well, the answer lies in this one hidden detail: tax classification. Today we're going to unravel the mobile home tax trap and show you exactly how to ensure your home is a valuable asset, not a liability.
All right, here's what we've got on tap. First, we're going to explore why a mobile home's tax status is kind of like a chameleon. Then we'll compare the two very different financial paths it can take, and of course, break down the deciding factors. We'll also run a 10-year net worth test to show you the real-world impact of these choices. And finally, we'll give you a clear, actionable plan to protect your investment.
So, let's kick things off with this core idea: the tax chameleon. And honestly, it's the perfect metaphor because in the eyes of the law, your home can be one of two very, very different things.
This is the one question you have to answer. Is your mobile home legally a house, or is it a vehicle? Because the answer, it changes everything. To a tax assessor, if your home is just sitting in a park where you rent the lot, it's treated just like a car. But if you permanently attach it to land that you actually own, it completely transforms into real estate. Its entire financial identity changes based on that legal status. You know, this is where so many owners make a huge mistake. Most people, the rookies, they focus only on the monthly mortgage or the lot rent payment. But the pros, the seasoned investors, they focus on tax classification. It's a binary choice. It's either real property or personal property, and that single distinction dictates your entire financial future.
And that choice brings us to the two paths. Let's break down exactly what this means for your money and the very different outcomes each path leads to.
Okay, so here's the huge difference. When your home is classified as real property, it's taxed with the land. It appreciates in value over time, and you can get traditional 30-year mortgages. It becomes a wealth-building asset. But as personal property, it's taxed like a vehicle, which means it depreciates. It becomes what's called a wasting asset. You're literally pouring money into something that is losing value every single day.
Now, looking at this chart, you might notice the annual tax rate for real property is way higher. And think, why would anyone choose that? Well, it's because you get what you pay for. As personal property, your home's value is based on a depreciated book value. Just like a used car, it goes down every year. But as real property, it's valued by a market appraisal, which means what a real buyer would actually pay for it. And on top of that, you qualify for a homestead discount, a huge tax break that personal property owners simply don't get.
And this, right here, is maybe the biggest financial landmine of all. After flipping over 100 of these homes, I can tell you this for a fact. Most homeowners assume they'll get the standard $250,000 capital gains exclusion when they sell, tax-free profit. But the IRS rules get really murky for homes classified as personal property. If your home isn't legally real property, you could end up handing 15 to 20% of your profits straight to the government.
Okay, that is a massive risk. So let's talk about the solution. What are the specific factors that decide your home's classification, and how can you make sure it becomes real property?
It all comes down to these three non-negotiable steps. First, you have to own the land the home sits on. That's a must. Second, the home has to be on a permanent HUD-compliant foundation. That means a real foundation that meets federal standards with the wheels and axles gone. And third, you have to go through a legal process called title elimination, where you permanently surrender the vehicle title to the state. You do these three things, and your home is officially real estate.
But watch out, because there's a hidden trap here that a lot of people fall into: the utility connections. See, a home is only considered permanent if its connection to the ground is total, and that includes your water, sewer, and electrical lines. If you've got exposed pipes or temporary-looking hookups, the county can deny your real property status, even with a perfect foundation. Getting these underground utilities right, that's called subsurface utility engineering, or SU, is critical, and getting it wrong can be a $10,000 mistake waiting to happen.
The technical specifics for all of this can get pretty complex, and they vary by location. For a full technical breakdown of SU requirements and foundation retrofitting costs, you should definitely check the post on mobilehomefriend.com. We lay it all out for you there.
Okay, so we know the steps, but let's really see the real-world impact. Let's run the numbers and look at the financial consequences of this choice over a decade. Let's start with a hypothetical $150,000 home. If it's personal property in a park, let's say you pay around $800 a month in lot rent. Over 10 years, that's almost $100,000 just gone. Poof! At the same time, the home itself is depreciated, losing about $60,000 in value. Your net position is a staggering loss of over $150,000. Now, let's flip the script. Same home, but this time it's real property on land you own. Yeah, your taxes are higher, but over those 10 years, you've been building equity with every single mortgage payment. The land has appreciated, and because your home is legally part of the real estate, it has appreciated right along with it. Your 10-year net worth gain is now well over $100,000 in the positive.
Wow. So when you see these two outcomes side by side like this, the conclusion is just crystal clear. The supposed tax savings of keeping your home as personal property are frankly a mathematical illusion. The long-term financial gain from classifying it as real property isn't even in the same ballpark.
This has been incredibly eye-opening. So let's wrap this all up with a simple, actionable plan that you can use to protect and secure your investment starting today.
Here's your checklist, and we have a full guide for this on the Mobile Home Friend website. First, find the red metal HUD plate on your home. That little tag is crucial. Next, audit the title to make sure there are no hidden liens. Call your county assessor. Confirm your parcel info is correct. If you own the land, apply for that homestead exemption immediately. Then, get under there and review your utility lines for SUE compliance. And finally, look up your county's upcoming mill rate so you know what property taxes to expect.
So I'll leave you with this final thought. At the end of the day, the government really only cares about one thing: tax classification. If you stay in the personal property lane, you are essentially driving a house that the tax man treats like a 1998 Honda Civic. You have to choose the path that actually builds your wealth. So the crucial question you need to ask yourself is this: is your home an asset that's building your net worth, or is it a liability that's quietly draining it away? As we've seen, the answer lies in its tax classification. Thanks for watching. For more guides and the full article on this topic, head over to mobilehomefriend.com. Don't forget to check the links in the description below.
Thanks for watching. For more technical guides on this topic, click the link to see the in-depth article over at mobilehomefriend.com. There are many more informational dives into manufactured home topics to investigate and keep your project moving forward.